In the song Hotel California by the Eagles, the most iconic line is, "You can check out, but you can never leave." Now, what at the time seemed to represent the sex, drugs, and rock and roll culture of California in the 70s has now apparently been dug back up by the California state government in order to be the motto for their new tax bill. What's going on, guys? Ravi Abuvala here, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how California has absolutely crossed the line with their new proposed tax bill and how this will potentially affect you no matter where in the United States you are. Now, if you recall back to your 7th grade history class, you'll recall that the 10th Amendment in the Constitution says that all powers that are not specifically granted to the federal government are reserved for the state and the people. What this interpretation allows is for states to pass massively beneficial laws for their local people in which other states could see the benefits of and follow suit. In other instances, states will pass laws that are massively destructive to their people and their economy, and they essentially stand as lessons for other states on exactly what not to do. Well, congratulations, California. You have now become a poster child for any state looking to quickly and effectively destroy their economy and any major actors in it. Now, I'm not political and I honestly despise the news, but as a taxpayer and an entrepreneur, I need to voice my opinion about this. California has gone too far. No, I'm not talking about the fact that they shut down right at the beginning of holiday season, effectively destroying the thousands of small businesses that were relying on the season in order to bring their business back from the death. No, what I'm talking about here is that California is not only potentially going to increase their income state tax, which is already the highest in the nation, but also create a wealth tax for residents, part-time residents, and anybody who stays in the state for more than 60 days. Oh, and if you plan on leaving California after you watch this video, don't worry. The new law will actually allow the California government to come after you for 10 years after you left the state in order to collect this new wealth tax. How on earth does that make any sense to you? That would be like, for example, me charging you for a service, and then I really didn't do a good job doing that service, so then you decided you want to cancel the service with me, and I said, hey, no problem, we can cancel the service, but I am going to continue to charge you for 10 years. Thank you very much. Oh, and if you don't want to do that, I'll just send you to jail. So let me first quickly break down the proposed increase in the state income tax, and then we're going to talk about that beautiful 10-year plan. Tax Bill AB 1253 would bring the highest income tax in California to a whopping 16.8%. And it would be retroactively applied to the entire 2020 year. Retroactively means that if you lived there in 2020 and you're in the tax bracket for that 16.8% and you thought you were only paying 13.1%, well, surprise, they're gonna come after you for the entire 16.8%, even though they didn't tell you beforehand. Now, there are two things to know about this bill. First off, that the increase in income tax will only affect the high income people in that state, with the base for those affected at about $1 million in annual income. And the second is that these are progressive increases in taxes, meaning that if someone made $6 million in a given year, they're not going to be taxed that full 16.8% on the entire $6 million amount, but instead will be taxed proportionally to the income brackets that I'm going to show you guys on the screen right here. So this is what essentially progressive tax looks like, and we're looking at a chart for California income tax in 2019. So this would be before they imposed the new bill. But as you can see here, you would, if you made up to $8,544, you'd be taxed 1%. And then anything between $8,500 and $20,000 roughly, you'd be taxed 2%. Anything between $20,000 and $31,000, you'd be taxed 4%. And essentially all the way down this line here until you got to anything above $1 million, then you would be charged 13.3%. So everything below that's $1 million, you would be taxed each of these income bracket levels here. So while you're not in the new proposed tax law being taxed at the full 16.8% for the entire amount, you are going to have a significant portion of that income, if you do make high income in the state of California, going to be taxed at that 16.8%. So if you're watching this right now and you don't make a few $1 million a year, then you're probably thinking, oh, don't worry, Ravi, I don't make that kind of money. That's only for the rich people, they can afford it. What you're not considering, however, is a lot of times those wealthy or high net worth individuals run businesses that create tens of thousands of jobs locally in that state and help spur economic activity around them. So, as I'm going to show you here an example, if it doesn't make sense for them financially to be there anymore, they're going to take all of that extra economic activity and all of those extra jobs, and they're going to pick up and they're going to move to a friendlier state. This is exactly what Grant Cardone, a real estate mogul, did about a decade ago when they increased the taxes from 10% to 13.3%. He booked up his life, his office, his business, his income, and took it all the way over to the other side of the United States to Miami, Florida, where, you guessed it, they have 0% state income tax. Grant was quoted saying that the only thing that's been better for the state of Florida than former California Governor Jerry Brown is current New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Tesla founder Elon Musk is also planning on moving his residence and operations from California to Austin, Texas, another 0% income tax state. He says he plans on building a 4 million square foot facility right outside of Austin, Texas that is predicted to generate 5,000 new jobs for the area. Oh, and Charles Schwab, you know, that major financial giant, they announced earlier this year that they plan on moving from San Francisco to Dallas, Texas, once again, because of the 0% income tax. And there are thousands of more examples of companies, large actors, as well as just your everyday people that are leaving California in masses for these 0% income tax states. And mark my words, there's going to be a lot more of that very soon. Oh, and California knows that. That's why they are planning to pass this second 10-year tax bill. Tax bill AB 2088 would impose a 0.4% wealth tax on any individual whose wealth is above $30 million in any given year. Oh, and if you're watching this video right now and you're worth more than $30 million and you say, thanks Ravi for the heads up, next year I'm gonna pick up and move out of California to one of the friendlier states. Don't worry, California has you covered there because they know that's most likely gonna happen. So what they plan on doing is taxing you for 10 years after you leave the state for that 0.4% of your net worth. And then if you fall on the much more vast majority side of people watching this video that aren't worth $30 million, you might be thinking, oh, don't worry, Ravi, it's fine. I'm not worth $30 million. I don't need to worry about something like this. As discussed earlier, you should care, and you should care a whole lot, because wealthy individuals that bring business there, whether they're going on vacation or visiting for an extended period of time for Hollywood or one of the other attractions there, would actually avoid California like a plague, essentially keeping some of the largest corporations and people from visiting that state and contributing to its economy. This would massively stifle the growth of the economy in California, and in my opinion, create a sort of downward death spiral for the economy of California. What I mean by this is because they are going to be no more high net worth individuals inside of the state of California, in order for California to still make the amount of money that they were before, they're going to have to lower the income level that they were targeting for that top 16.8% to people that are making less than $1 million. And that is when you start getting in the territory of potentially you, the viewer watching this video right here. That means that the average earner would be potentially left footing this new bill. If you live in California, you don't live in California, if you're a business owner, if you're not a business owner, it's really incredibly important to understand the power and bills passed by the federal government and the state government so that you can understand as a business how it relates to you moving forward. If you got some value out of this video, if you learned at least one new thing, or if you really don't like California as much as I do me a quick favor and make sure you smash that like button down below and hit subscribe so you can get access to incredibly valuable videos that I'm putting out just like this on a weekly basis. Now, if you don't have some of these high net worth or high income individual problems, then I want to invite you to potentially get them by getting access to my totally free course down in the description below called the 3 Steps to Scale. It is a free course of over 4.5 hours of content that I put together on the exact steps that I took in order to scale 2 companies to 7 figures in under 2 years. All you have to do is click the link down in the description below to get instant access. And finally, comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this new tax bill, if you think it's going to pass or not, what the effect that would have on the economy in California, and then if you currently are living in California, let me know if you plan on leaving. Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next video.